Hi, so we have some more questions come in, so we'll try and give you some sensible answers. The first one is from Pascas1. Did I ever need or want to have play double bass drums? Well, not really. The only time I ever really did it was on Fireball because it added something to the track. The way the riff rolled along, it needed that power of two kicks. When I was growing up, the only guy who actually used two bass drums that I knew about was the wonderful Louis Belson. And even he had not really what you'd call mastered it. There are some wonderful young drummers around these days who've got the two bass drum thing down to an incredibly fine art. But I've always preferred to have to think in patterns. And sometimes with the bass drums, it's not where you put the note, it's where you don't put the note. And that makes it work. So thank you for the question, and there's your answer. Number 2 we got here is from Gab Y. Can I talk a bit about the early days with the first 3 albums with Deep Purple Mark I? Well, it was different then. We were actually all living together in a house in West London. I shared a room with Rod Evans, and Nicky Simper and John Lord shared a room, and Richie had the flat upstairs with his wife. So getting together, if anybody had an idea, was incredibly easy. We just sort of met up in one of the rooms and hammered it out. And if it was good, it would end up on one of those first 3 records. That's about the only difference, really. And when I look back at those 3 records, there's some good stuff on it. You know, I'm not trying to put it down, but it was a band that was still trying to really find out what it was going to be. A little confusion, a lot of covers from other people because we hadn't got I didn't think we had the ability to actually write our own tunes with that lineup. So that's the real difference. Same person. Tell you something about Lazy and the First Day Jam from Who Do We Think We Are? Well, to give Martin Birch, our engineer, a chance to actually get the sounds that he was happy with in the control room, we would often just start playing and not worry about what it was and just follow each other and see where the music took us. And First Day Jam was one of those. We just played for 10 to 12 minutes, I can't remember how long it was, and all that time Martin was tweaking the little dials and the knobs on the control desk to try and get the best sound he could for us. And when we went back in and heard it, we said, well, that's all right, it's good fun, we won't wipe that, we'll keep that. And that was the story of that. I can't tell you much about Lazy, it's probably all been said, or I think it has anyway. The next one is from Anna Tarr. Talk about the work with Paice, Ashton, Lord, and do I enjoy playing other styles of music other than hard rock? When we decided to take Purple off the road for a while, like 9 years, it was no point in trying to do something the same. It had to be something different. Otherwise, whatever we did would just have been a pale shadow of Purple. So we had our very dear friend Tony Ashton, who we thought would give it a whole different slant. And we built the whole thing around Tony's ability to communicate with an audience, and his blues roots and my jazzy roots and John's classical roots meant we could open it up a bit, and we could use horns and we could use backing singers just to try and make it really, really different. And the band was great, and it made a really nice record, one I'm very proud of. But we never really realised that Tony was happiest when he was a noisy, smelly, dark little club playing his music where the audience were right close to him. And quite honestly, on a great big stage with a few thousand people, he didn't like that very much. And he wasn't the same Tony Ashton. And he wasn't the Tony Ashton we needed for Paice Ashton Lord. And so it was a wonderful, brave attempt, and it worked for a little while, but that was it. Now then, Petra Chechka, I think I said it right, or close anyway. Rat Bat Blue from Who Do You Think We Are? I know that Don likes it. Why don't we play it? Well, we have played it on occasion, and as much fun as it is to play, and it's again one of my favourite tracks, it doesn't always work so well on stage with an audience. And eventually, if you feel that they're not as enjoying it as much as you think they should, then you find another song to put in its place that you know they'll enjoy. There's no point in beating your head against a wall. If it's not working, it's not working. There's a bit more to this question here. Sometimes I feel like screaming being cut shorter. We just change things, you know. I think at the moment last couple of years, we've been doing a very short version of it, just to give a break from the intensity of the other songs, but without slowing the show down completely. So that's why. It doesn't mean to say that in the future we won't stretch it out again. Hey, we can do what we want. From David Carini. What do I think about Genesis? Wonderful band. Always were, all the way from their first efforts. But they ended up cheating, didn't they? They had two great drummers, Phil and Chester. I mean, that's not fair, is it? I mean, the rest of us have to just deal with one. No, marvellous records, and of course Phil went on to incredible personal success, and not a weak link in the band, and that usually helps you get to where they got to. Okay, Nacho Deep Purple. Could we do a set full of Steve Morse songs? Yes, we could. But a lot of people would be very unhappy that they didn't hear 4 or 5 of those classic Mark II songs that they really bought the ticket to the concert for. So we have to balance ourselves. We have to toe the line between the few songs that we know if we didn't play, people would be unhappy, and the songs we'd like to play them, and new songs. So it's like a recipe for a great cake. If you get it right, the cake is wonderful. If you get it wrong, it tastes awful. It's the same with the show. If you put too many new things in or too many obscure things in, the audience will not enjoy it as much as they want to. And that's what it's about. It's about enjoyment. Us on stage having a good time, and you are there listening to it, having a great time. Right, we've got one more from Guitar in Your Home. The left-hand wrist down the snare and bell of the ride of the guitar solo in Picture of Innocence. What is it? Some sort of technique? No, it's not some sort of technique. It is the rhythm that you're playing. It has a bounce to it, and all you have to do is keep your wrist relaxed. It is wrist, it's not fingers, it's just the wrist, and you just bounce. I've used it in many, many songs in the past, and I'll no doubt use it in many more in the future. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope I've answered some of them in the way that you wanted me to, and we'll try to do it again soon. Okay, bye-bye.